Yeah, I think polls are great. It's funny when the younger coach in me cares what other people think and prove people wrong and all that stuff. The more I'm around this, you realize that it's just about how you perform on game day. We returned 98% of our scoring, and we finished in the top 10 last year. So for us to actually drop down out of the top 10 doesn't make a lot of sense, but we understand, listen, there was a year when we were number one in the country in every poll for the entire season. We were ranked 5th. So at the end of the day, it's just about us winning our games. We put together a great schedule in front of us, and I think that'll set us up to exactly where we want to be at the end of the day. But 98% of our scoring, and to finish in the top 10 and drop out of it, yeah, that'll raise some eyebrows. I think being ranked number one in the CAA it's a nice preseason accolade. It's something, for to be on social media, something for media to talk about. But, I think right now everybody's 0-0, their records. So we understand it's about performing at a high level. And, for us, we have big picture thinking. The CAA is certainly part of, goals and expectations of our program on a year in, year out basis. And this year being no different with so many returning players that experienced first season in the CAA and the dominance our players showed. And, we understand that's going to come with higher expectations and people being more excited to play our team. And, but ultimately I think, for us to return as many starters as we are, to have so many players, that are held in high regard, nationwide is something that'll give us a lot of confidence as, we get into our tough preseason schedule, but ultimately sharpen up for the ability to play into the CAA. I think we're really good. And I think and we're deep, and I think the level of practice is at a really high level, and I think, but as expected, because you've returned so many players. So when you return as many players as you do, and you have 16 seniors, I think that comes with that, right? Like it comes with people understanding the system. And, it's been challenging for us as coaches too, to change different things and drills to kind of keep them on edge, because some of these players have been here 5 or 6 years kind of going through it, that, they know all the drills. And, I think it should try to keep, them hungry and maybe, just to kind of be not expecting certain, things. So, I think that's been really good. I think that the competition within, again, when you return all those starters and all that, the high percentage of scoring and defenders, and, I think the competition within is really the difference. Are your top kids being challenged on a day in and day out basis? And I think the great teams that we've had here, we've had that internal push. We talk about, the team and the expectations of the team, and no matter what your role is, playing to that role and, be a great teammate. And being a great teammate is bringing your A game to practice every day and pushing the person ahead of you. And if you're at the top, then you've got to pull the bottom up with you. So, I think those are cultural things that we have within our program. That is, this is a player-driven system. I think in my earlier days here, it was something where I kind of had to do a lot of the pushing, but these players understand what's expected of them in this program. And I think the example of seniors that we've had in years past have set the bar for them. So it's now their chance to drive the ship and to be the one, because, I always say in college athletics, you're as good as your seniors are. And this class here is unparalleled. To return 98% of your scoring, I'm not sure anyone in the country's ever had that. Like, it's just wild to think, right? And I know we've never had it for sure. I think a lot of times you're happy if you return 50% of your scoring. So to return 98% of our scoring, to add a really high level, besides the household names that have been up on our leaderboard with Hart, Macera, and Hampel, and those guys, now, with Charlotte and Aaron and Morgan, like they're really high profile goal scorers. And then to be able to add a kid like Alex Finn in there, who was an 80-point plus scorer, she transferred in. And, I think that when you return that much, it's really comforting, I think, as a coach to know that you have players that have done it before. And that also sets the bar. I think, for us to have that volume of scoring return, and with a really, really high level freshman class. Our freshman class is as good of a freshman class as we've had here in a long time. And there will be players to crack that lineup. But, when you look at our lineup, return so many starters, and there could be 2 or 3 players that started last year that could be coming off the bench this year. That kind of speaks volumes of our incoming freshman class, as well as other players that have pushed and really used that offseason to get themselves to a different level. Well, Charlotte is elite, right? I think Charlotte is an elite taker in the country, and Jaden Hampel's right up there. They're a great 1-2 punch in different styles. You know, and our circle play with Claire and Ellie Macera have been really, you know, they're unsung heroes as part of that unit goes. So, you know, I think if you're going to be a good draw unit, you got to be complete, right? So you have to have the good circle play on top of the taker. And it's something that we've put a large emphasis on. Coach Pareca does a really good job of spending a lot of extra time with that group. You know, it's something I'm on, you know, with Sydney all the time, and like, we got to get better there. Because win the draw, rule the world. I think a lot of people say that. We say it all the time. And, you know, when we're in a position where 50% or better at the draw, we're really hard to beat. You know, I think the only way that, you know, we struggle is if we're not getting it, right? So, you know, it's something we put a large emphasis on. Our group puts a large amount of time into that craft and the things that go, the different skills that go with being a good draw unit, or a good taker, or a good circle player. And that'll, like, it paid dividends last year. We climbed. We want to be better there. This group is locked and loaded. You know, I've been doing this a long time. It's hard pressed to find a better group that we've ever had, top to bottom, here at Stony Brook. When you look at the high-end kids with Ellie and Caitlin Hart and Claire Levy, as you know, and Charlotte, and those guys being the core group there. We have great goaltending. Coach Michelli's doing a great job with the D. Coach Pareca's doing a great job with the O. It's a group that, you know, I think we've been media darlings the last couple of years, and I think this year with some of the preseason rankings and some of the player rankings are way lower than they should be, and I think that's something that I think is going to spur our team on and fire our team up. And this group's ready to make history, and you know, my job as the coach is to drive that and push them towards that, and they, you know, we get I get 110% from our players day in and day out, and we understand that. It starts today, but you know, down the road, our goal is to be in that Final Four national championship talk, and we're fired up.